So when we look at this issue of teen employment as an investment activity, is it? And the answer is, yeah, it appears to be. That it turns out that when kids work while they're in high school, particularly for boys again, they're more likely to enroll in college, you're more likely to have a job, and when you have a job in your mid-20s, you've got higher earnings as a consequence. And in the city of Chicago, it's not a pretty picture. That within the city, we got about close to 1 in 5 youngsters in the city not in work, not in school, not in the military. They're disconnected from productive activity. For black non-Hispanic kids, that number goes up to 28%. So these numbers are really, they're really astronomical sets of numbers. But then the last thing, I'll just leave with this, and this is just something you just got to think about. When you look at young black men, aged 20 to 24, the disconnection rate is astronomical. That we have now in the city of Chicago, we now have half of all young guys, aged 20 to 24, not at work, not in school, not in the military. When kids don't work, it's exactly the same thing. It's a disinvestment, right? The opportunity to build these human capital proficiencies diminish. So as a result, for the youngster, their long-term employment earnings prospects are diminished, their post-secondary enrollment rates are diminished, and for the greater Chicago and Illinois area, its long-term economic growth prospects diminish because the productive capacity of young people coming up is diminished. So everybody loses by this.
I worked with a Chicago Area Project this past summer, and my experience with them was more than excellent. It was more like a second family because I was just coming off, a little trouble with the police. I was looking for a place to where I could work on myself and learn how to be, how can I say, better productive in a work environment and learn more skills than just, block a hood lingo as people know it. Like they nurtured us, in the beginning, if we didn't have our bus fare, they give us bus fare up to like our first check. So it's like, they hold your hand, but then they'll show you that you got to start being responsible on your own, which, a lot of us didn't know how to do that. We used to getting our money and just blowing it right then and there the same day. But now we got to learn how to better manage ourselves. And then it made you just want to do better for yourself in the long run. Shoot, I'm up here talking, feeling like a big dog, you know what I'm saying? Just thanks to them. So.
When growing up, people would always say, oh, you're a leader. And I'm like, well, I don't believe it. It was through this program that I actually believed that I was a leader. Now I know that I am capable of reaching the top. I'm capable of anything. That's a lot, a change within the 5 years of when I was really struggling. That's why this program is so important, and we need more of it. We need more.
I am a Hispanic and I'm a dreamer. And it really impacted me because that was my first job. It gave me hope because during that time I was getting accepted and I was applying to colleges. And I was getting accepted into pretty good colleges, but it was the fact that I didn't have the money to go in there. I felt like my doors were closing. I couldn't apply for FAFSA just because I'm a dreamer. And it was really hard for me. And knowing that now I could get a job and bring in money so that I could pay for my future college, it was a good feeling that I had never felt before. It gave me hope. It gave me encouragement to keep on going.
I first got involved back in the summer of 2011. I was a big-time gang member at the time. The mentality of our young people today is that they feel that no one cares for them, no one loves them, and no one is out there looking and having their back. Well, I'm here to tell you today they provided me with a second opportunity and a new lease on life. The senators, the representatives, the aldermen, you all set the tone. You all are the team. The dream are these jobs. If you provide these jobs for us, which is the dream, and you are the team, teamwork can and will make the dream work. Thank you.
I know that as a youth, growing up in Robert Taylor homes, that is what really saved me throughout the year. I've had summer jobs ever since I was 13 years old. It kept me out of trouble. I was able to start my first bank account by working. My mother, so many kids in our family, 13 of us, my mother and father could not afford to buy what I really wanted. So I went and got my own job and saved my own money, as many of you have articulated. And it's a good thing for you. It helped to discipline me. It helped out with my self-esteem and a number of things. And so for the past several years, I've worked with Jack through the Alternative School Network. And what we've been doing is working with the Senate Democratic leadership and the governor's office to make sure that we were able to fund 10,000 jobs throughout the state. And I know that many of you all worked in those programs because I'm familiar with the organizations that participated in the program. And so we had to come up with, and this was an initiative, by the way, under my leadership, but the Black Caucus did this down in Springfield. And so we were able to find $20 million in the budget, and it funded 10,000 jobs. But we know that that wasn't enough, and that was only for the summer. And I know that the governor is looking at zeroing out a number of line items in the budget, and I'm sure that youth employment is probably one of them. And so we need you all to help us. We have to work together on this thing. We need to hear from you all. So pick up the phone and call us and send us some letters saying, please fund this initiative for summer jobs. Okay? So thank you very much.
You have shown by your presence here today that you're trying to get what you need. But we can't speak on your behalf if you don't speak up. And one of the things that one of the gentlemen was talking about, how do you engage us and how do you get us to work? Well, one, you become registered to vote. You become registered to vote. And doggone it, after you've done that, vote.
You know, when you all got your first jobs, one of the ways you did it, almost always the way you did it, was somebody helped you, right? You knew somebody, maybe a family member, maybe a friend, a neighbor, something like that. And the labor market still kind of works that way. And that's why the role of the Chicago Urban League, the Chicago Public Schools, they need to step in and play that role. Having summer jobs and also year-round employment activities that connect these youngsters to the private sector is fundamental, both to upward mobility and opportunity within the city of Chicago, but also to long-term job creation and job prospects and economic growth within the city as well.